Mariners make a late comeback, and it's not enough versus the Marlins in game one. I'm going to break it all down on today's episode of Mariners Daily. Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Edwards. Thanks so much for being here, watching the show. I appreciate it. Make sure you freaking subscribe and leave a comment with your thoughts. Yeah, it was a rough loss last night. Thought it was going to be a rough loss just due to our offense's lack of run scoring, runners in scoring position, I should say. But we eventually did start to come through. Late comeback in the eighth inning, and it's just not enough for this bullpen, which desperately needs help. This trade deadline. I don't have any trade options for the bullpen right now. I'm gonna at the end of this episode, I've got a key option that could be good versus lefties, but we'll get there when we get there. For now, let's talk about Brian Wu. Let's talk about Brian Wu on the road. This start was once again just kind of a little bit more of the same for what we've seen from Wu while on the road. It was 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Not a terrible start overall. 87 pitches for Wu, 8 hard hits, 5 of them being line drives or fly balls. The four-seamer actually did fairly well. 40% usage, 4 whiffs, 11 called strikes on that pitch. That's a 42.9 CSW percentage. It did well. I mean, it did well enough. It did give up 3 hits on its own, which is not exactly what you want to see. He's just a little too hittable outside of T-Mobile Park, which is a little frustrating. 74 strike percentage on the four seamer is nice. That's what we expect from Wu. The slider did well enough, 23% usage. That's up about 5% than normal. 5 whiffs on the slider, 1 called strike. That's a 30 CSW percentage. It also had a very good strike percentage at 65%. The sinker got some called strikes as well. 14% usage, 5 called strikes on the sinker. That's a 38.5 CSW. Kind of surprising. The sweeper and changeup did not do much. The sweeper got 1 called strike, and the changeup got 1 whiff. So the backup characters didn't do too much, but four seam, sinker, slider did well. They did well. I mean, combined, they had freaking 17 called strikes between those 3 pitches, which is kind of crazy. And then 9 whiffs between the four seamer and the slider. So, not a terrible start. He was just too hittable, just way too hittable. And I know this Marlins offense has been much better as of late. I mean, the Marlins have caught fire. So, I don't want to discount the Marlins in any way because they are swinging a real good bat. I think it's Otto Lopez that was the player of the week last week. He's batting over 500 over his past 7 games. So we're not going against minor league Marlins. We're not going against the team that's just going to lay down and you know, let us take over, really. So, and they kind of showed that throughout this game because they struck first in this game. Let's get to the game recap here. Yeah, this is not a fun one to recap here. Not a fun one at all. First inning, Liam Hicks starts off with a well hit single, 101 miles per hour. Kyle Stowers comes up and strikes out. Otto Lopez comes up, gets a single himself, 107 miles an hour. You're like, okay, well, here we go. Marlins about to crush us. But no, Wu gets out of the inning. Xavier Edwards strikes out, and then Griffin Conine strikes out as well for Wu to finagle himself out of that jam to move on to the second inning. Now, the Mariners were not doing much offensively until later in the game. Second inning, Owen Casey starts it off with a solo shot off Wu, 108 miles per hour off the bat of Casey, 418 feet. Kind of crazy. Javier Sinoja, I don't know how you say it. Sinoja? Is it Sinoja? Javier Sinoja gets a single, Liam Hicks gets a single as well. Then there's a wild pitch from Wu, which you don't see very often at all. I should have gone back and figured out how many wild pitches we've seen for Wu this season, but it's not that much. Whatever. Long story short, wild pitch. So it would score Sanoha, who had moved on to third at that point. Kyle Stowers finishes off the inning with a strikeout to get Wu finagling out of that jam. Third inning, Otto Lopez pops out, and then Xavier Edwards grounds out to start the third inning off well. However, Griffin Conine singles, Owen Casey then walks, Jacob Marcy singles in Conine, who scores another run through the third inning. Finally, the Mariners start picking it up a little bit. Fourth inning, Randy gets the first hit of the day. Whoop-de-doo. Canzone flies out, makes good contact, 102 miles per hour, 387 feet off the bat of Canzone. Not enough. Randy ends up ending the inning, getting caught stealing second base. So nothing happens there. Fast forward to the fifth inning. They finally get on the freaking board. Cal Raleigh, who actually had a pretty good game, he doubles off the wall, 103 miles per hour off his bat. Naylor then grounds out, 105 miles per hour off his bat, but it does move the runner over. Luke Raley's sacrifice fly, well struck to center field. Raleigh does a good run home to score the M's first run of the day. Cole Young follows it up with a solo shot. Very nice. It didn't make amazing contact. It didn't go amazingly far, but good for Young. His 10th home run of the season. Good for Cole Young. Sixth inning. This is where it gets frustrating. We get Cole Emerson taking a walk. We get JP getting a single. Randy gets a walk himself. Canzone then grounds out into a force out at home. Good play by the first baseman on the Marlins. Conine, I believe. Raleigh comes up with a strikeout, and then Josh Naylor hits into a force out as well. Naylor did make good contact, 97 miles per hour off the bat, but it's not enough. Not enough to score a run, not enough to get past. Nothing. Leaving the bases loaded in the sixth inning is like just such a freaking gut punch. And it is one of those situations where it's very easy, I think, to give up on this game. Oh, it's one of those games, gotta turn it off. The the Mariners did have more fight in them, which was encouraging to see, but it wasn't enough, clearly, you know? Ferrero pitches a clean sixth inning. Bizzardo pitched a clean seventh inning. Good to see from both our rocks in the bullpen. Eighth inning, JP starts it off with a walk, per usual. Randy gets hit in the elbow guard again. Struggles a little bit, ends up staying in the game. Canzone strikes out. Not what you expect. Not what you want to see. Sorry, moment. And Riley comes up. It's his second double of the day. And a beautiful swing, man. I mean, just a beautiful golfing swing to right center field. Off the wall again to score JP from first. Or sorry, from second. Josh Naylor follows it up with a single himself, sneaks through the hole. That scores two due to the interference by Xavier Edwards at second base that Naylor runs into. I really don't think that was on purpose, but then again, Naylor is the type of dude to trying to get a leg up on anyone that he can in any way that he can. Cole Young takes a walk, and then there's this ball which scores Naylor. And then Victor Robles ends the inning with a line out to center field, 99 miles per hour off the bat of Robles. However, the Mariners take the lead in the eighth inning, which was huge. Huge to see Raleigh come through with the double. Huge to see Naylor come through with a clutch single to score a couple. Cole Young keeps the good game going with a walk, and then which allows the pass ball to happen for Naylor to score. And then Robles does make good contact to center field. They were all doing what they were supposed to do. JP gets on base. Randy gets hit by the pitch. Hanzone does not do what he was supposed to do. He did not have a great day. He did make good contact, like I said early on, but it just wasn't enough, man. It's just not enough. It's not enough. It's a late comeback, but it wasn't enough because Gabe Spire comes in, and to be fair, he needs to hold that lead. We need him to hold that lead because as soon as it goes the extra innings, we are screwed because we do not have the bullpen depth that we need. Absolutely screwed. So what happens? Gabe Spire comes in. They pitch hit the rookie Heriberto Hernandez, and he crushes a solo homer to left field, 110 miles per hour off the bat, 422 feet for Hernandez. Not great, man. It was a high fastball, great swing from the rookie, and yeah, that was a bummer, big fat bummer. Estuary Ruiz takes a walk. Jacob Marcy sack bunts him over. Joe Mack follows that up with a walk as well. Javier Sanoa tops out, and then Liam Hicks grounds out to end the inning. So Spire did clutch up a little bit. I mean, he gets himself into trouble, but then gets himself out of the trouble. Hard to be overall happy with his inning of work. Um, yeah, not great, man. Not great from Spire. That was all. That was it. Because if we don't take the lead in the ninth, nothing's happening. Nothing good is going to happen. Because what happens? You bring in Andres Munoz for the ninth. He pitches a clean inning, does a good job. Great. Great to see for Munoz. I don't want to take that for granted. But then we don't score in the 10th. And then Michael Rucker comes in. And Michael Rucker is not going to hold on to a. He's not going to hold on. He's not going to keep us in the game. It's just not happening. He's not that good. We need someone else. We need another reliever desperately. And yes, you could put the blame on Wu for not going deep enough into the game. You know, you could blame Wu for not pitching a good game. And I get it. It's usually what we do because we live and die by our starting pitching, but that should not be the case. We should be able to have a guy ready to go for the 10th if Munoz is not able to. We should have another guy. We need another name. And I know we're injured, but that's exactly it. You had the guy, now he's injured. You got to figure out something else. And Michael Rucker or Nick Davila, those are not the answer. Those are not the guys that are going to step up. Those are not the guys that are going to get things done here. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. As for the hitting side of things, I think Ryan Jeffers could be a trade option for the Mariners. 29 years old, playing backup catcher most of the time, usually is a platoon type guy. He is crushing the baseball this season, and I think he could easily step into that Mitch Garver role that could be super valuable for us. If at the very least, doing a little bit of DH when they want to throw kids out in right field. He can get stuff done, man. It's limited playing time so far this year for Jeffers, 147 plate appearances, but in that time, he has absolutely destroyed the baseball. 7 home runs, 15.6 walk percentage, 15.6 K percentage, 246 isolated power, 295 batting average, 408 on base, 541 slugging, 410 WOBA, and a 389 expected WOBA, 165 runs created plus 1.7 F4, and only 147 plate appearances is crazy, bro. He is a free agent at the end of the season. It's an obvious trade candidate. He's going to get traded. Why not to the Mariners? Why not? Because there's not a lot of other options that are great options for the Mariners that I think will be traded. I think it's going to be a kind of a dry trade deadline. So we're not going to get the big player. So we got to nickel and dime it. We got to get a solid reliever and we got to get a solid backup catcher works, man. I mean, there's not a lot of righty hitting outfielders readily available right now that are going to be traded this trade deadline, in my opinion. A lot of them have a little bit more control. as guys that I have covered before. Austin Martin is another guy on the Twins that I thought was an interesting option. Honestly, Jeffers and Austin Martin would be kind of a cool combination. I would love to get both of those dudes. But yeah, I think Jeffers. Why not Jeffers? Garver's fine. He just strikes out so much, dude. And I know he's fine as a backup, but it's like if you're gonna have him pitch hit, if you're gonna have him jump in for Luke Rayleigh and things like that, he's just not the option that you want. Jeffers is the guy. He's absolutely crushing the ball. The batted ball metrics are off the charts right now for Jeffers. 91.2 exit velocity, a 16 barrel percentage, and a 44 hard hit percentage. All of those are great marks for Jeffers. I understand it's a limited sample size. I totally get it. I'm not expecting Jeffers to be a stud for us. I'm not expecting him to be a 165 runs created plus, but you don't need him to be. You don't need him to be because you've got Mitch Garver who is batting below average, below 100. So why not? Why not go get Jeffers? Maybe he's a 125 runs created plus for you, you know? Maybe he's a 130, the quality player that can crush lefties, and that's what we need right now. So why not Jeffers? Go get Jeffers, go get Austin Martin, do something. Make something happen, baby. Make something freaking happen because we need something for this team. We need it. All right, guys. That's it for me today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to record tomorrow. I'm going to try and finagle it and see if I can fit it in. My work schedule is kind of all over the place right now, but I appreciate you being here. I'll see you either tomorrow or the next day. Have a good one.